I have done very well in both stocks and real estate over the past 20 or 25 years when the market has gone through so many changes. I'm going to share with you my plan to make even more money in the event that the one big, beautiful bill reshapes our economic landscape. And we're going to uncover the sectors poised to benefit and how you can position yourself to capitalize on these upcoming changes. Now, guys, this big, beautiful bill was signed into law July 4th, 2025. The bill introduces significant tax cuts and reallocates federal spending. Some of the key metrics in there, key provisions, include permanent extensions of the 2017 tax cuts in Trump's first term, increased defense and border security funding, shocker there, and reductions in social welfare programs. So for the defense and border security, it's an extra $150 billion allocated defense spending and $150 billion to border enforcement. Some of these beneficiaries are defensive contractors, cybersecurity firms, and companies involved in border infrastructure. Now, there will be permanent tax cuts for individuals and businesses, including a lot of exemptions for tips and overtime pay. I want everybody to remember, it's not eliminating all taxes on tips and overtime pay. It's sitting there saying for the first X amount of dollars, you don't have to pay tax on it. There's also going to be introduction of Trump accounts, which will allow for tax-deferred savings for children. Nothing screams Trump like a Trump account. Now, a lot of the potential beneficiaries of these Trump accounts: financial institutions with more money going into them, consumer good companies, and businesses with large hourly workforces. Now, for the energy sector, there'll be rollbacks on clean energy tax credits and promotion of fossil fuels. Traditional energy companies, oil and gas producers, and those kind of companies are going to do quite well based on that. Healthcare and social services adjustments are going to be significant cuts to Medicare, Medicaid, and stricter work requirements for SNAP recipients. Now, the people who benefit from that: private healthcare insurers, insurance companies, and telemedicine firms. It's got to be about getting more cost-effective ways for other people to go, guys, I don't care what you say. Medicare and Medicaid, it's run by the government. It cannot be that efficient. So again, tax exemptions on tips and overtime pay will probably lead to increased consumer spending, benefiting retail and consumer. Because think about it. Who makes tips? Who makes overtime pay? People who spend the largest portion of their money on living. Businesses that cater to middle and lower income consumers will probably see heightened demand because of this. Now, guys, this is all exciting for a lot of people. I do understand that. But guys, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do here on this channel is provide a principle-driven approach to investing. We recently did a survey on our YouTube channel. I freaking loved it. Over 2,000 respondents. We asked the question, why do you watch these videos? And 86% of people, they said, because I'm trying to get ahead. I'm trying to learn more. And I thought about this. I'm like, damn, I would never thought it was 86%. I thought some people would be catching up, and about 6 or 7% are catching up, and we're a great place for that. But what we're trying to do is teach this principle-driven investing, which aligns with 95% of the people on our channel. We're trying to teach this way of thinking, buying great companies at great prices. Yes, a lot of people think that's not possible. Sure it is. Is it hard? Absolutely. But guys, you know what else is hard? Making money, and you still do it. What's hard is to sit there and see your money go away because you're chasing hype. I know that's not what you're doing. Now, I hear these things about the big, beautiful bill. Guys, the only thing to me is, why the hell is this big, beautiful bill increasing our deficits? Why is it going to add to our debt? These are the issues long-term that matter. These are the problems we have fundamentally. I don't believe that this world is going to end up being better or worse because of one bill. But it's all these small changes we make that keep increasing our deficits, keep increasing our debt, that's taking away from our future. Think about it like this. Let's say you're new to the world and you're sitting there, you just joined the workforce, you've been working for 4 or 5 years, and you're starting to spend a little bit of money. You take on a little bit of debt. And every so often you add a little bit more to it, a little bit more to it. And yes, your income is rising. For a long time it's rising, but then you hit 50. And that's when your growth of income really starts to slow down. But your debt is still going like this. At some point, it's going to be hard for you to manage your debt. And that's no different than our country. And the more and more you borrow today, you're taking away from the future. Doesn't mean that borrowing today can't be a good thing. I borrow all the time from my businesses, but I'm doing it to borrow and make a higher rate of return than the interest I'm spending. Are we getting that here? Well, we don't know. And people want to sit there and latch on to this big, beautiful bill and say, this is going to be the savior. Maybe it will be. I don't see the savior in our economy long-term being more spending today. We already have 4.1% unemployment. We have nominal GDP growth. What we don't have is a check and balance on spending, because we have a bunch of people in Congress who are incentivized to spend more money. You might sit there and say, well, how are they incentivized? Re-elections. The more they promise their people, the better they're going to do. The more they sit there and say, I'm going to give you X, Y, and Z, the more likely they are to get reelected. And when they do that, all it means is that we're sitting there saying, who cares? It's for the kids in the future. They'll pay it later on down the road. Well, eventually, guys, there'll be a point where it becomes a real issue. When's that point? No idea. All I know is our current interest costs are skyrocketing. We're up over $1.2 trillion. This is why Trump keeps pushing for lower rates. But lower rates could mean more inflation. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. And on principle-driven approach, I want everybody to realize that we're not here trying to hope and pray. We're here to sit there and be investors. And if we look at the country, the way we look at a company with revenue growth that's stagnant, but their debt levels keep increasing, what would we say about that company? We'd say, listen, avoid that company. That's what we'd say. Those are the AT&Ts of the world. So guys, how am I going to profit from this big, beautiful bill? Very simple. I'm not going to change a single thing of how I do things. My goal is to sit there and buy good companies, great companies at great prices. Now, are my assumptions about the future changing as time goes? Absolutely, but not because of this big, beautiful bill. I realize that value is really driven in the long run. And there's a lot of things that are going to happen in this world. We showed this chart that's going to pop up right now. This is the last 75 years of the S&P. This is a small portion of all the things that have happened. Guys, I'd rather have the big, beautiful bill than 10 9/11s. We've had assassination attempts. We've had 9/11. We've had more terrorist attacks. We've had all these things that happen: stagflation, inflation, oil crises, financial crisis. And guess what? The U.S. economy gets better. And that's probably likely to continue for the foreseeable future. The question is, when will it change? When will all this debt become an issue? The great news is, look at Japan. Japan's had a stagnant economy for a very long time, and Warren Buffett has still made major investments in 5 or 7 Japanese holding companies because he looks at them and says there's still immense value there. You can still find great value in countries like that. But you got to remember, I don't think we're going to be Japan. I think we're going to be better than Japan. Japan is a wonderful place. I've heard amazing things about it. But they've had issues that countries like in Europe have not had. Even though they have major declining populations, Japan's been stagnant and slightly declining. So for me, I'm still focusing on my principle-driven approach to investing. And guys, if you want to get those 5 tenets, do me a favor, click below. We'll send you an email within minutes with the 5 principle-driven tenets that you can understand and have as a go-to as you think about anything in this world involving money. These 5 tenets apply to everything you're going to spend money on. It's really an incredible way of thinking. I really encourage you to get a hold of it. Now, with that said, picking individual companies is about a process, and that process has not changed for me because $1 of profit is still $1 of profit, whether the world is falling apart or not falling apart. In the long run, the world is not falling apart. In the long run, the world is getting better. And guess what? The U.S. will do better as the world gets better. So I'm not going to change my investing approach on individual companies. Now, guys, just proof of that. You guys have heard of the Magnificent Seven, the 7 high-flying stocks. And I've said countless times that during good times, those stocks are going to crush it. During bad times, those stocks are going to suck. Well, guess what? I've made my own Magnificent Seven. And I think it's really important that you watch this video because it's all about following the anti-hype. I picked 7 companies that I think are value plays that will outperform the Mag 7. And you would be surprised that even in the last 3 months, how well the market's done, how my stocks have performed against that. But we're not just doing a 6-month trial. We're going to look at this for years to come to prove principle-driven investing and how it works. So do me a favor, click the link below, watch that video. I guarantee you'll enjoy yourself. Thank you for your time.